Hey everybody, welcome to my weekly chat at Siopa. My name is Bob Umar and I'm excited to have you guys here. Glad to have you guys here. I'm very excited to share with you a bit about imagination, which is a great topic. Imagination is something that can rock us, it can also block us. And my name is Bobby Umar. I'm a four-time TEDx speaker, one of Inc. magazine's top 100 leadership speakers. And I'm here, thanks to the hearts, love the hearts, double tap, triple tap those hearts, baby, it's great. And I'm here every week on Thursdays, 11:45 a.m. to share my thoughts and insights on topics to help you seize your passion, your career, your nonprofit, your charity, your leadership path, whatever it might be. And you can see all the videos we've done in the last year or so on siopa.com/stream. You can also check out my YouTube channel or my website, rayallen.com. So, imagination. Let's talk about how, I'm from Toronto, Canada. Type below where you're from. Comment, please let me know what you're thinking. How does imagination block you? Let's start with the blocks. Okay, how does imagination block you? Well, imagination blocks me because I spend a lot of time in analysis paralysis and overthinking things, and I'm even over imagining things about what about this and 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 what about this. That can slow you down. You kind of get stuck, and if you imagine too much and there's all these things floating and all these what ifs, then you can get overwhelmed and you end up not moving forward on anything. So for me, that's one thing that comes into play where imagination can block you. The other way that imagination gets blocked is when you actually are blocked for creative ideas. Your imagination is lacking. It's like, oh, I don't have any imagination. I'm so stuck in this order and this process and what's going on. I can't seem to think of anything or brainstorm. And that kind of thing happens. You need to get away and try to reframe yourself or get the creative juices burning. I remember years ago I was trying to look for a job and I was feeling kind of like uncreative with all the resumes and cover letters I was sending and things like that. So I took a program at Second City, did improv, and that completely got my juices going. It was actually really, really helpful. So that's something you can do to get your juices going in terms of your imagination. And then I think, what's another way that anyone else have suggestions on how imagination blocks you? Just type below, let me know what you're thinking. I'd say another way that imagination can block you is, if you get stuck on one of your creative ideas. You imagine the possibilities of an idea or a business that is just so fantastic in your mind, but you're unable to take the feedback from others, to listen to people, to look at the target market, to understand that maybe this is not the way to go. This is not the best methodology. Maybe it's not the best thing, or you need to adjust your sales. And so your imagination gets the best of you because you get stuck in that brilliant creative idea in your mind, but practicality not so much. So that's some ways where your imagination can block you. Now, how can your imagination rock you? Well, again, I find my imagination is a great way for creating innovation, creating. Here's a question: what about not actually executing on whatever you imagine? Yeah, you imagine something, but then what are you doing? What are the concrete steps to move forward on that image or that idea or that vision? Vision is very powerful, but it's just one thing. Vision's one thing, but they need to have. What are the goals and objectives? What's the support you need? What are the actions you need to take? And then who are the people going to help you get there? It's funny, I just posted something exactly on that about 5 minutes ago on LinkedIn, which is kind of funny. You start with vision, and vision's important, but you need to make sure you have the other things as well. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to execute. All right. So, what are some of the things that imagination can rock? Well, it definitely rocks opportunities for you because you might come up with a cool idea where you hadn't thought about it before, and all of a sudden you're adjusting your project or your path in a new direction that you never thought of before. A perfect example for me, the creativity aspect. It's huge. The perfect example for me was, for years, I was a speaker about networking. I talk about networking and relationship development. And one day I came with the idea that, networking, the key is it's really about your promise. What do you promise to people? What is your expectation? What is your reputation? What's the brand you have? And all of a sudden I was like, oh, you know what? Yeah, networking is personal branding. That's what it is. And I started talking about personal branding as it applied to networking. And all of a sudden people were like, whoa, that's a good idea. That was like 2008. It totally took off. And I was like, you know what? Okay. And I started talking about personal branding and how important that is in terms of our reputation management and making people feel good and things like that. And it really that inspired that creativity and inspired a whole other path for me. And now I have a conference called Discover Your Personal Brand running for its 5th year because personal branding is so important. So thanks for the hearts. Love that. So yeah, it just kind of springboarded to something else. imagination also springboards to new ideas and new opportunities. So if you have an idea and you're feeling stuck, you use imagination to start, taking it, ramping things up, or taking things to, oh, look at the hearts, oh my God, that's great. So you use your imagination to take your ideas to a new level, to try new things, to springboard to other areas. And I also think imagination is really important for you to just keep a sense of play, a sense of fun, a sense of, hope, a sense of opportunity, and it really keeps you motivated in terms of what you're trying to do. So whether you're trying to launch a nonprofit, or you're trying to get people on board for some sort of cool vision, you're trying to do something completely wild and out there, just play and fun and have. And the more you talk about it, and the more you share with people with your vision and what you can imagine, it can be an amazing thing. And I'll give you another thing. Here's a really personal one where imagination really helped me. It's with my wife. So, we had a lot of challenges with our culture gap and things like that, and I had to explain to her, like, we have to imagine what it could be like. Can you imagine 10 years from now, we're married, we have kids, you have a job you love, I have a job I'm loving, and the kids are beautiful and they're thriving. And at the time, she was like, it's hard for me to imagine that because there's so much complications. And I remember she talked to me a few years later. She's like, wow, okay, here we are. We live in a beautiful downtown apartment. We love our life. We have 2 beautiful kids. And she's like, what you imagined back then, I couldn't see it, but I see it now, and it is awesome. And imagination helps us to be empathetic and compassionate with others. If you can imagine what people are going through and how they're feeling, that's actually another great way to connect with people. You can imagine the hopes and dreams, desires of other people. So imagination really helps with connection with other people. So I think there's a lot of great things to be thought of or brought from imagination. So what are you doing to help imagination help you thrive in your business, in your career, and helping you seize your passion? So please join us every week at Thursdays, 11:45 a.m. You can see all the videos at seopa.com/stream. You can message me anytime. Use the hashtag Q4BobbyU on Twitter, Instagram, wherever. You can follow me there and ask the questions, or you can check out my Facebook group called Power of Connection Group, or check out seopa.com and see all the amazing things they're doing. All right, so I hope you're enjoying this. Thanks so much for joining us, and I will see you guys next week at 11:45 to help you seize your passion. All right, take care. Bye-bye.